Welcome dear student. Today we shall study about sexual reproduction in plants. Okay, and this is from lesson life processes in living organism for class 10. So let's start. Alright. So first of all student, let's learn what is sexual reproduction. So what is it? Sexual reproduction occurs when the sperm from the male parent, okay, so sperm from the male parent fertilizes an egg from the female parent and producing an offspring that is genetically different from both the parent. Okay, so student, you can observe, see here that is sperm. The sperm is male gamete. Okay, so male gamete will from a male parent will fertilizes an female gamete, that is egg cell or ovum from the female parent, and producing an offspring or young ones that is genetically different from both the parents. Now here, why the offspring or young ones are genetically different from both the parents? Because sexual reproduction takes place by the process of meiosis, and we have seen that in meiosis recombination or crossing over of homologous chromosomes takes place. Okay, so that is why here in sexual reproduction the young ones or offspring are genetically different from both the parents. Okay, so the organisms are genetically diverse or genetically different because of sexual reproduction. And sexual reproduction begins with sperm and egg cell. Sperm is a male gamete and egg is a female gamete. Egg cell also called as a ovum, and which are produced through a process called meiosis. So by the process of meiosis, male gametes and female gametes, that is sperm and eggs, are produces. So this is all about sexual reproduction. Okay, now next we have sexual reproduction always occur with the help of two germ cells. Now germ cells means female germ cell and male germ cell. In female, egg cells, and in male, sperm cells. So these are the two germ cells, and female gamete and male gamete are those two germ cells. And two main process occurs in the sexual reproduction. So first process is gamete formation. So first gametes are formed by the process of meiosis. Okay, and then by the fusion of the gametes, like male gametes and female gamete, that is sperm fertilizes egg cells. So then the process of fertilization takes place, and by the process of fertilization diploid zygote will form. That will be seen in a video study. Okay, now first we will understand what is the process of gamete formation. So student, here this is a spermatogenesis. In A part you can observe the spermatogenesis, that is a formation of a male gametes, that is male sperm, and next is a oogenesis, that is a formation of ovum or formation of egg cells in females. Okay, so student, gametes are formed by the process of meiosis, and meiosis is also called as a reductional cell division. Why? Because in this the number of a cell, that is you can observe here in spermatogenesis and oogenesis, the germ cell, the cells is 2n, that is diploid cell will convert it into a haploid cell, that is n cell. Okay, that means chromosome number are reduced from 46 to 23. So in meiosis, chromosome number is reduced to half, and hence haploid gametes are formed. Okay, so these are sperm are the haploid male gamete, and ovum or eggs are the haploid female gamete. Okay, now after gamete formation, next process is fertilization. Now for what is fertilization? So in sexual reproduction, haploid sperm or haploid male gamete from the male parent fertilizes the haploid eggs from the female parent, haploid eggs, that is from female parent, to produce what is called a diploid zygote. So here the haploid sperm will fertilizes haploid egg cell to form a diploid zygote. Now the zygote which is formed in this process, it is a it contain 46 chromosomes, but sperm and egg cell will contain 23 chromosomes. Okay, so this is a fertilization process in which a diploid zygote is formed in the, by the union of haploid male and female gametes, and the zygote then divides by mitosis and embryo is formed. Now student, remember one thing, that cells, that is gametes, that is sperm and egg cell, will they will form by the process of meiosis, reductional cell division. Okay, but the embryo, zygote, it will divide by mitosis and embryo is formed. We have seen that mitosis takes place in stem cells and somatic cells. Okay, so zygote will divide mitotically or by the process of mitosis. An embryo develops to form a new individual. Then after division of a zygote, embryo is formed, and then that complete embryo that embryo will develop into a new individual. That means from cell to tissue will form, then from tissue to organ will form, then from organ to organ system, then organ system to complete individual will form. Okay, so here I have mentioned one picture in which you can observe the egg cells is fertilized by sperm to form a diploid zygote. So this is a fertilization process. Okay, now next we have two parents, that is male parent and female parent, are involved in this type of a sexual reproduction, and fusion of male gamete of male parent and female gamete of female parent occurs in this type of a reproduction. You can observe here the sperm is fuses or union with fuses with the egg cells or ovum to form diploid zygotes. And due to this, new individual always has the recombined genes of both the parents and hence the new individual shows similarity with the parents for some characters and has some character different from then both the parent. That means some characters of new individual will be similar to the parent one, and but some characteristic will be different from parents. And diversity in living organism occurs due to this, new individual always has the recombined genes of both the parents. And we have seen in the process of meiosis that in meiosis what happened, the crossing over or recombination of homologous chromosomes takes place, and due to this the characters will be different from the parent one. Okay, and diversity in living organism occurs due to the genetic variation, and genetic variation helps the organism to adjust with the changing environment and thereby to maintain their existence. And due to this, plants and animals can save themselves from being extinct. So this is all about the process. Okay, now next let's understand sexual reproduction in plants. Alright, so sexual reproduction in plants. Student, flower is a structural unit of a sexual reproduction in a plants, and it consists of 4 floral whorls, namely first is calyx, next is corolla, third one is androecium, and fourth one is gynoecium. And out of which, student, this is a complete flower. You can observe the different part like androecium, gynoecium, corolla and calyx. Okay, so these are the calyx, corolla. So and calyx and corolla together, calyx and corolla are called as accessory whorls of a flower. Why? Because they are responsible for protection of inner whorls. You can observe the calyx and corolla are outer parts of the flower. Okay, so they are responsible for the protection of the inner whorls, that is androecium and gynoecium. And androecium and gynoecium are called as these are the essential whorl because they perform the function of reproduction. Okay, so student, you can observe here androecium contains anther and filament. So the members of androecium are called as a stamen, and the members of gynoecium, that is stigma, style and ovary, these are known as a carpel. So androecium is a male whorl of a flower and gynoecium is a female whorl of a flower. So this is about sexual reproduction in this is a structural diagram of a plants or a complete flower. Okay, now next let us understand what is a unisexual and bisexual flower. So student, first unisexual flower. So the flowers which contain only the male or female reproductive organ are called as a unisexual flower. That means a flower which either contain androecium or gynoecium, it is called as a unisexual flower. The unisexual flower are also known as an incomplete flower. For example, here we have example of a pumpkin. It contains either male or female. Okay, and bisexual flower means a flower which contain both male and female reproductive organs. That means both androecium and gynoecium in one flower. It is known as a bisexual flower, and it is also called as a complete flower. Why? Because both the reproductive organ like male and female androecium and gynoecium are present in one flower. For example, hibiscus. Okay, now next is a male and female flower. So what is it? So student, flower containing male reproductive part, that is androecium, called as a male flower. And here we have example of a male flower of a papaya. And next is a flower containing female reproductive part, that is gynoecium, called as a female flower. So this is also this is female flower, and both male flower and female flower are present in the papaya plant tree. Okay, so these are the male and female flower. Okay, now student, many flowers have the stalk for support called as a pedicel, and such flowers are called as a pedicellate, whereas flower without stalk is called as a sessile. Now student, here you can observe a picture in which you can see here the stalk is present. Okay, so a flower is joined to the stem with the help of a stalk, and this stalk is called as a pedicel. So the flower which contain pedicel, these flower are known as a pedicellate flower. Okay, but the flower without pedicellate or without stalk are called as a sessile. So this is a pedicellate and this is a sessile. Okay, now members of gynoecium are called as a carpels. And so members of gynoecium we have seen, that is style, stigma and ovary, and inside the ovary ovules are present. Okay, so these may be separate or united, and ovary is present at the basal end of each carpel. You can observe here, this is a structure of a carpel or carpel. Okay, so ovary is present at the basal end of each carpel. You can observe the bulging part, like or a bulb like part at the base of the flower. It is called as a it is called as a ovary. Okay, and a hollow style comes up from the ovary. So this is a hollow style comes from the ovary. It is called as a style, and a stigma is present at the tip of the style. So stigma is a part where the pollen grain will be stick for the sexual reproduction in a plant. And ovary contains one or many ovules. So inside the ovary ovules are there. So you can observe here ovary, the black dotted structure, these are the ovules. So many ovules are present inside the ovaries, and embryo sac is formed in each ovule by meiosis. So by the process of meiosis or reduction cell division, embryo sac is formed within each ovules. Okay, within each ovules embryo sac has been developed, and each embryo sac consists of a haploid egg cell. Now haploid egg cells and two haploid polar nucleus. So you can observe here embryo sac consists of a haploid egg cells and two polar nucleus. So polar nucleus are the nucleus which which further fuses with the male sperm or a male cell to form the for the fertilization process. Okay, now next pollination. So what is it? So student, pollination is the transfer of a pollens from the anther, male part of a plant, to the stigma, that is female part of a plant. So pollination is a process of transferring of anther from a male part to the stigma, to the female part of a plant. So this is a pollination. So here you can observe pollination occurs with the help of abiotic agent. Now abiotic means non-living, like wind, water, and biotic agents means living thing, that is insects and other animals. Okay, so here the insects like bees and different animals can be considered as a biotic agent. Okay, so here you can observe picture in which a pollen grains are transferring by the pollinator or pollinating agent, that is honeybee. So it will be carried out by the honeybee or pollinator or pollinating agent from anther to the stigma. Okay, so to the stigma the pollen grain will be stick to the stigma. And student, stigma becomes sticky during pollination. Why? Because the pollen grain should not be fall from the stigma. It should be stick to the stigma, and then it will go inwards into the style. Okay. Now student, pollen germinate or pollen grain develop or grow when they fall upon such sticky stigma, that is a long pollen tube, and two male gametes are formed. Okay, so two male gametes are formed by the pollen grains, and here the pollen tube carries the male gametes, and pollen tube reaches the embryo sac via Style is a elongated part of the flower. So the male gametes or sperm will be carried out from the by the style, and the tip of the pollen tube bursts and two male gametes are released in the embryo sac. And after this, one male gamete unites with the egg cell to form a zygote, and this is called as a fertilization. So what is fertilization in flower? When male gamete unites with the egg cell to form a zygote, this is called as a fertilization. And second male gamete, two male gametes are there na, so one male gamete will be unite with the egg cell to form a zygote. This is called as a fertilization process. Okay, and the second male gamete unites with the polar nuclei which are there present in the center of the cell, and endosperm is formed. Okay, as the two male nuclei participate in this process, it is called as a double fertilization. So first, when pollen grain will transfer from anther to the stigma, two male gametes are formed, and out of which, and then they will carry to the via the style, and one male gamete will fuses with the egg cell to form a zygote, and this is called as a fertilization. And the other male gamete, it will unites with the polar nuclei and form endosperm. This is called as a as the two times fertilization takes place, it is called as a double fertilization. That is, as two male nuclei participate in this process, it is called as a double fertilization. Okay. Now student, ovule develops the ovules. Okay, so ovules develop into the seed and ovary develops into a fruit after fertilization. So here you can observe the ovule develop into the seeds and ovary develops into the fruit. So this is, and seeds fall upon the ground when fruits break up and they germinate or develop in the soil under the favorable condition. That means when proper water or mineral will supply to them, then the seed germination will takes place. Okay, and zygote develops at the cost of a food stored in endosperm of seed, and thus a new plantlet is formed, and this process is called as a seed germination. So student, that's it for today's video. I hope you all have understood very well. Thank you.